Hey, I'm Ryan Rushik here with Mr. Schmalbach, and we're going to talk about the library. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. So what are your thoughts on the library being remodeled?
Well, it's a bit of a surprise. You don't expect to find out on a given day that a really big sum of money is going to drop into your lap, so to speak, to redo the facility where you work. But it's an exciting prospect to a big number makes you think of possibilities you didn't think of before because prices kind of hold you back. So I'm excited to start the process and work with people on seeing how we can make the library here at the high school pretty awesome for the students.
Awesome. So you mentioned how you said the money just dropped in your lap. So how did this grant come about?
Well, it was through the Norristown Area Education Foundation and was presented at last evening's board meeting. They did some magic behind the walls that I don't know about, but they went and decided that this was where they were going to funnel monies that they had. I think that it's a really good thing because, in a school, there's only so many spaces that really serve all the students or, a really big majority of the students versus like an individual classroom or whatnot, but like the gym, the library, cafeteria, places like that where every student goes at some point in their careers. So, they, decided that that's where they wanted to put their money, and I think it's a great place to invest. And, we're looking forward to seeing what we can do.
Yeah. So actually, how much money was donated?
So the total amount is $65,000. And again, like I said, when I make orders every year, you go through catalogs and you look at stuff and you get that kind of, oh, I wish if I only had a little extra money, I could get that, or that's really cool. And, most of the time you can't do it because budgets are budgets and you can only put so much money towards it. And you have to spread things out all over the entire school and the entire district. And this really does kind of open up the whole dream factory, like what things can we do, because that's a substantial sum of money.
Yeah. So you talked about how you would update the library since. What other changes have you done?
Well, I've been in the position for 17 years. I took over for Ms. Pierce when she retired, and she's actually the one that they're going to name the library in honor of. And in 17 years, I've made changes. When I started out, we had 14 computers. Now we have 88. But even just in the last year, with every student getting a Chromebook, that's changed. So, do we need that many desktop computers? We've moved things around. I'm pretty handy, so there's been things we've been able to, fix and make look good. We've had carpet replaced about, 10 years ago or so.
Right.
So we've made changes, but, on the other hand, this building, it was a well-built school when it opened in 1973, and the fixtures have held up very well. And when you go into our library, what you'll see, like the bookcases, they're original from the day it opened. They're over 45 years old. The tables are the original tables. All the chairs were replaced 20-some years ago, but, you got a lot of original fixtures. They've held up well, but some of them are starting to show their age. So, again, this kind of opens that avenue of things that maybe we can do to freshen things up, change how we think about the space.
That's good. So how will renovating this library benefit our school and the atmosphere?
Well, I think in any school, a library should be the center of learning, right? It's a place where the historical look of libraries is like the storage place of knowledge and where the books are and whatnot. And that's part of what the vision still is. But on the other hand, the whole idea of libraries and what they serve has changed. And the biggest thing they've changed to is being really places to collaborate and work together. It's not just that we have novels and books that you can research from and computers you can use, but it's places where you can gather, where students can work together, where you can relax and read something, use a computer, watch a video, whatever. And I think that, by taking this money and renovating it updating the look, it makes it more welcoming. I think it can serve the students in a better way. Like I said, collaboration is a big part of what we look at now with school libraries, so that we can create collaboration stations. We maybe can do makerspace things. There's lots of new ideas that are underway that school libraries are doing, and one of the hindrances tends to be money. And this gives us an opportunity to really think beyond, outside the box of what we can do, because we have some opportunity to do something different now.
Right.
So I think that anything we change there that brings students in, gives them a space that they can call their own, that they can be in, use both for academic and for social and whatnot. Like, I think that benefits the school, it benefits the climate. I think it benefits pretty much everyone here.
Right. So I know you just found out about this grant, but do you have any estimate of when the remodel will be finished?
No, not at all. It's very new, like you said. We're just finding out about it. Mr. Roth and I have already been talking with Mr. Dormer, superintendent, as well. There are going to have to be different people on board. We need to go visit places, because one of the best things you can do is go to a place where they've done this stuff and see what works and what their students like. I want to poll students. I want to find out what you guys want in a library, because as much as I run it, it's not my library, it's ours. And, what do you guys want to see? You may have ideas that I've never even thought of. I'm an old man now, so, I don't think all hip and cool. So we want everyone that's involved to have a voice and can make their opinions known, and we can see what we can do. We would have to talk with vendors and suppliers and workmen, and then what stuff could be done in the district, what things would need to be contracted out. So there's a lot of moving parts that, we can't put a date on anything right now, because we're just at the starting stages. Yeah. But, obviously we want to make it happen sooner than later, but we don't want to rush the process, because, even when Chromebooks came in this year, and it was like, okay, well, you're going to get rid of all your desk computers. And I said, no. I said, step back. We need to let this year unroll, and I want to see how students use their Chromebooks, how classes might want to use the computers, and then we can make an informed decision. Yeah. So that's one of those things, like, you want to make an informed decision where you have all the information. We've gone to see places, we see what the options are, and then we can make up a real plan, and not just say tomorrow that, we're going to do this, this, and this, and then find out, I really wish I had done that, and if I had only seen it, I would have known. So we want to be real strategic about what we're doing.
That's good. Anything else you'd like to add?
Not just that, huge thanks to the NAEF, the Narrowstown Area Education Foundation, to the district, to Jan Pierce. She was my librarian when I was a student, and I was happy to take over her desk when I started working in the library as librarian 17 years ago. I believe in this school and the students, and I think we do great things, and I think this is just going to be one more really great space and facility that hopefully even more students will want to use, will want to come into, and I think it's going to be great for us. So it's an awesome opportunity.
Cool. So you talked about how you took over her spot. What does that feel like? And now she's coming back.
It was having gone here as a student when I came back, and most of my teachers were still working. Then I was 21 years ago. I used to teach history when I first started. It was weird. And then when Ms. Pierce was looking to retire, and I was trying to decide what I wanted to do as far as my master's went in my future, and I was like, I like teaching, but I like working with students, and I like managing a space. So I'm like, I think I'd really like to be the librarian. And I knew that she was heading, and I talked to her, and we, she kind of guided me on what I needed to do, and it timed out very well. And on one sense, it's kind of weird to take over for somebody who was here for so many years, and really ran that library. On the other hand, it was great to be able to step in and continue, and build on what had come before, and put my own stamp on it. And it's been a decision I've never regretted. I love being the librarian of the school. It's a facility that's fun to run. I always like interacting with students. They almost almost never have a bad run-in because kids need your help. So it was in some ways a little bit more rewarding for me than classroom teaching, just because there's a different variety of things going on, and I can help lots of different people in different ways, and that's what I like to do. I like to help.
Right.
I like to contribute as much as I can. So, in one sense, it's a little odd to be, but on the other hand, it was a really, good decision, and I'm glad I'm still here.
Great. All right. Well, be sure to visit Mr. Schmalbeck down at the library. I'm Ryan Rushik. Back to your host.